well, okay? And that's Titi Lyle. Opeoluwa says, I process and sell dried fruits. Okay, you just responded. Okay, so Molara says, I want to have my own school, nursery and primary. Big Bami says, I want to be top natural spice producer in the world. So I'm going to end that there. But see, this is an assignment I'm giving you, and I'm going to have a set of questions at the end because you're taking this away and you're going to act on it. Is a very practical, hands-on session. So it's not about listening to me and going the way you have come. So don't be like that man that looks at himself in the mirror and leaves the same way that he came. Okay? It's very practical, and you must do something about it. So we've talked with, I want to be here, I want to do this, I want to do this. So what other thing I want you to look at is set a goal, and goals are specific. Many of us have heard about what we call SMART goals. And if you say SMART, I know that Dolakwa had mentioned SMART. So can you remind me what SMART goals are? Can you type that? Sorry, I will engage you a lot because I really want you to be in my class, okay? So goals that are SMART, could you type what SMART means? Okay, because goals are, or a goal is what you like to achieve. So that's why it has to be specific. And that's just the S in the SMART. It has to be specific. What's the other one? What's the M? What's the M? Measurable. Thank you very much. What's the A? What is the A? Yes, achievable or attainable in some cases. What's the R? Yes, realistic. And the T is? The T is time bound. In some cases, you see timeliness, time bound, timely. Timely is key. Time bound is good, but timely is also good. Timely means that you do what you do at the right time. Because sometimes wasting time about your goals just causes more trouble for you. Others would have moved forward and taken the market share. You're still dragging your feet because it's not time. Time bound will mean within a specific period you must achieve. So that's key. Please, if you're unmuted, please mute yourself. I'm hearing a voice somewhere. Okay, so a goal is what you like to achieve, and an agreed milestone or deadline. The strategy is how you will do it, and the tactics is what are the specific actions that you need to take. So let me even show you my next slide so you understand it better. Strategy from the goal. A goal can be a single statement. I want to be the largest seller of so. Your goal is I want to become an owner of a primary and secondary school in Oyo State. I want to set up the biggest fashion industry in Canada. That is a goal, okay? But of course, if we say in Canada, we say it has to be smart. So how do we measure? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And the measurable part could be, I want to be the biggest, what did I call it now? Or the underwear. I'm going to use that underwear. That underwear person, I think I love you kind of business. You want to be the largest underwear, maybe underwear, what do you call it, practitioner? Not practitioner, dealer, whatever that is. Or biggest manufacturer in Canada or in Toronto, just you can pick a place. By 2020, maybe 2026, okay? And you might be more specific. There's female underwear, okay? And you put a time to it. And you want to say that, okay, or you can even put it that you want to increase your earnings from where you earn now to maybe a certain amount in dollars by 2026. That way you can measure your progress or your growth. That's why goals have to be smart, because it must be measurable. If it's not measurable, you don't know how well you're doing. But I thought I should talk about strategy and tactics. So this is a breakdown, for example. Your strategy, you set your goal, right? But your strategy refers to how a business plans to reach its long-term goals. So how do we reach our goals? I put two examples. A business can say, I want to diversify my business's revenue. So diversify my business's revenue. The person with the underwear can say, I want to make more money. I want to increase my financial base. So I want to diversify my business's revenue. But that's my strategy. But my tactic here is that I want to launch a new product. I want to launch 2 new products. And then you can define what those 2 products are. And that's tactics. You can say, I want to increase our market share. It's a strategy. We want to increase our market share. Okay? First, you say you want to be the biggest, blah, blah, blah. Your strategy is that we want to increase our market share. And how do we want to increase our market share? We want to launch new products. because we see that people need some other products that are complementary products to underwear. Okay, so I want to increase my market share by launching a new product. I want to partner with another leading brand, and I can ride on what they already have to also enter new markets. So I just thought I should differentiate between strategy and tactics. And when you're designing your work plan or your goal, you have your goal statement, you have your strategy, you have your tactics, then you could have your work plan. And your work plan definitely has timeliness. It specifies what you need to do part-time, who does what, and within what period. And at the end of the day, you're able to cover much with for yourself. I love this. I saw this somewhere, I had to put it here. It says a strategy is necessary because the future is unpredictable. It's a quote by Robert Waterman. And the truth is, because we're humans, we cannot really see the future. We can only walk towards it, open, and really, we are walking towards something. And we know that if I do this, I can get this result. So we continue at that. The future is unpredictable, but you could, to a certain extent, be able to walk towards a goal that you have set. Okay? So that's why a strategy is necessary. We can't keep open and not doing anything. If you don't have strategies, don't expect results. Yes, sometimes we plan, and it might not work out exactly the way we plan it, but you will still find some results. Regardless, you still achieve something. So never forget, for your business growth, you must have strategy. You must have strategies. It's not serendipity. Nothing just lands. Nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. Believe you me, nothing just happens. Now, how do strategic networking and partnerships drive business growth? Because that's where we're heading to. There are different things that could drive your business growth. But tonight, my focus will be on and partnerships. Okay? And how does it drive business growth? First is an expanded customer base. So how many of you know Glovo? Glovo is in Nigeria. Do you know Glovo? If you know Glovo, let me see your hands up. Yes, let's see. If you know Glovo, and do you know they've partnered with a number of companies to deliver meals? Hello, who knows about Glovo? Glovo. Yes? Who knows about Glovo? You know about Glovo? Okay. So the first benefit of networking, yes. Expanded customer base. How has Glovo been able to do this? Glovo has partnered with Chicken Republic. They have partnered with others. And what they've tried to do. So, yes, so we've seen some of you. But how many of you knew? Hey, oh, how many of you even knew Glovo before now? But you notice that you go online, you want to book online, and then you see Chicken Republic when you book, and you see there's Glovo that drops it for you. They've actually partnered with it. I think Chicken Republic and some others. Okay. And through that, they've also been able to expand their customer base because they've been able to leverage existing customer networks of their partners. And that way, it has helped them to expand their reach. And I can tell you that beyond just dropping meals at your doorstep when you order, Glovo is bringing in new products. They are building their brand through that. So strategic partnerships, networking, helps you to expand your customer base, okay? It helps you, especially because you can also leverage on existing customer networks. And as I'm speaking, please, I want you to start thinking about how you could leverage partnerships and networks for what you do. The second benefit, complementary strengths. I know Intel and Apple had a partnership that ended in 2020 thereabouts. But before then, Intel is a microprocessor. They manufacture microprocessors. And Intel was able to partner with Apple. So every Apple device had an Intel chip inside. And this is very interesting. So for example, Intel is a purely tech company, yes. Apple too, they manufacture computers, but they don't manufacture microprocessors. So they came into that complementary partnership. So we create the computers. We use, Intel brings in its microprocessors, and their microprocessors are really powerful, I tell you. So every shipment of an Apple device has an Intel inside, right? And the synergy was really, really powerful. So number two, complementary strengths. And you can begin to think about it. What is it that I have that I can offer they can offer. I can negotiate with another business and say, you know what? And we know that this particular product that we have is complementary to yours, and both can form a synergy. Begin to think about it. Just think about it. Very key. Complementary strength is a benefit. Third is access to new markets. Strategic partnerships often grant access to markets you might not have reached otherwise, whether it's through joint ventures, distribution agreements, and all of that. Now, this is me, and I was at the WTO forums last year in Geneva. That was the World Trade Organization forums 2023. I had, in fact, let me start from here. We had, I'll say we because somehow we had Collins called me up suddenly and says, Titi, I would like us to have to deliver a seminar at the WTO, and it's being bidded for. Last year it was a bid. So if you want to do a panel, you want to feature a panel during the forums, you bid for it. Really, I didn't even know that was possible. And when he called me up, and I'm even, you see, you can put that with other complementary strengths or expanded customer base. No. Then he called me up. And well, I thought of it, let's give it a try. And he tells me, we need 5 people on that panel. That's the standard. And we went to the form. And immediately, Collins asked, do you have any other people? Do you have like 3 other people? Immediately, I called up 3 friends, 3 senior friends. And I said, well, there's an opportunity for us to bid for this. And of course, it's not sponsored. We sponsored us for my accommodation and other things. But I thought, of course, of the benefits that comes from this. I mean, not going to visit Geneva anyway and attend any WTO forum. So really, and it was a great vacation for me as well. But you know what? We sat there together. Colin said, Titi, don't worry, I will do all the application, get us the other 3 people. I busied myself with a few things. Long and short of it, we won our bid pulled through. Out of several bids, we were selected to deliver a panel during the WTO. That was really beautiful. And you see, this is about harnessing strengths. Sometimes you feel you will just be on your own. I was sitting in my office just doing my work before Colin showed up. And I could have just felt, well, is it going to work or not? But that's part of the risk. We took that risk. And truly, all the resources we needed to make it to Geneva showed up. We made it there. We came back. Even the things I was thinking would work, worked. Accommodation that paid for, somebody decided to host us for the entire time. And I had to get my money back from the hotels.com. So this is beautiful. The benefits also of strategic networking and partnerships, access to new markets. So that's me in this picture. And I visited the stand where we have the Wauriani Women of Ecuador. And this lady is like an NGO. She does some NGO work with them. And they do one of the best chocolates. Oh my God, the chocolates are amazing. I bought quite a few pieces that I was just nibbling, and that's chocolate in my hands. I think I even brought some home, like a packet. And since then, I've been having conversations because one of the things I spoke to the lady was, where could we work together? I really would love to work with her. And that could even be for export. Some of you that know me, I do a bit of export advisory. And this could be a great way to connect people. So the relationships we build through networking. And that requires you to go out of your comfort zone. Okay? And so we didn't strike a deal here, but there are potentials here. There are potentials here. I remember in Maryland, one of the times I was in the US, somebody walked up to me or came to where I was in Virginia. And she and husband came, they saw something about me somewhere. They said they wanted to see me. And that time I was doing a lot of work in shea butter. And she came and said she wants to do some shea butter business. And that was how we struck this relationship. And really, I was able to send them some shea butter, and good enough, I've been working with some women in some local communities. So we had good shea butter. And we started a business with that, shipping shea butter to some parts of Maryland because she had requested for it. So access to new markets. That would have been possible if I did not network with some people, or they didn't look for me, or we didn't strike a partnership. I hope you're getting my point. And of course, this benefit is key for some of you that want to sell in new markets. That could be your market expansion plan, your growth plan. Like I said, your growth plan could be, I want to increase my market share. I want to sell in new markets. It could be, I want to earn more. I want to get more staff. It could be, I want to diversify my operations. I want to get new diversified means of income. That could be your growth plan. But you need to look at the benefits so that you take it very seriously, and look at it critically. Another benefit of networking and strategic partnership is innovation and knowledge sharing. Because when you network, when you form partnerships, you are also learning from each other. You are borrowing the technology and learning about how it works. I saw this MoneyPoint partner with Google Cloud in Nigeria. And I tell you, when people in Nigeria today, MoneyPoint is the leading, what they call a fintech. I can say that with all my heart. You pay, most businesses are now subscribed to either MoneyPoint or OPay for good reasons. You pay them, they get their monies immediately, they get a lot, which is the problem of the bigger banks. So it's so easy. But then MoneyPoint partnered with Google Cloud, and that helps them to be able to even reach the remotest part of Nigeria. And they're already, I think they're in Kenya right now, using the same technology. They borrowed that technology from Google Cloud. They formed a partnership, which for them was really innovative. Because then we were wondering, how do we make this work? But they were able to see a partner in Google Cloud. Okay? And by that, it brought some innovation in the way we pay for services. Now, every small business now has an account with MoneyPoints. And I'm sure as they move on, they're rubbing minds. How do we do it better? And that's why partnership and networking brings innovation and knowledge sharing. And knowledge sharing helps you because it helps you to get fresh insights into the industry that you are both collaborating in. Okay, encourages learning. If MoneyPoint needs maybe part of their customer feedback, they'll go back to Google Cloud and say, you know what, our customers are saying this. And Google Cloud goes back to their table and says, what can we do? And tweak one or two things to serve these customers that we already have, that we have built by virtue of our partnership. So innovation and knowledge sharing. Number 5, resource sharing. Partnerships networking helps you to pool resources together, whether it's sharing physical assets, intellectual property, or human capital. Now, I put this picture because I know this person very well. And we tried to pull off something some years back. So the lady in blue, her name is Chris Fesco. And Chris Fesco should be about 70-something this year. I think I visited her in 2019 in Skinnatelis. Skinnatelis is in upstate New York. She's a farmer. She owns a very big cattle ranch. They run what we call the Fesco Farms. Fesco Farms, as I tell I was there, had about 1,200 heads of cattle. It's big. It's big. They're a big business. Dairy. Oh my God. Every day there's these guys that come from New York to pick, a condenser of milk because they milk their cows every day. Those cows are massive. So she has a barn, and that's the barn. She took me there. I know that before then, she used to do training. She's a teacher. She trains children, brings them to the farm. In that barn, she has different things that she used to teach them about livestock, about feeding animals with hay. She has a horse. I saw the horse when I was there. But she does this for children because she believes that children should also be on the farm and understand how the farm works. All her life has been on the farm. Her grandchildren are on this farm. They know everything about farming. Okay. Now, I had a project I wanted to do to also teach children about farming. I call it I Cultivate. And then Chris and myself, we got talking at some point, and she offered me. She said, "Titi, you know what? I'll be happy to get you to, do something online. So when you're taking this kit, and I took this kit to Hope Eden Farm in Kuje at the time, but she wanted to also support, so like pulling resources together, that we could do an online thing, and then she can walk them through the farm, so she can give some part of that training as well. And that was big value for me. That was big value. And I never knew that could even happen. And she just offered it on a platter. So she's willing to share that and say, you know what, you could tunnel into my barn. We could put something, we could have children in the room. Let's set up something. And then I take them to the farm, and I'm explaining everything to them. And that way they're also seeing some new kind of animals. They're learning also from me. That was powerful. That was resource sharing. So how do you pull resources with people? How do you pull resources? Sometimes your resources could be financial resources, or okay, you have a lofty goal for your business, but you know that as you are right now, you don't even have it. That's how some companies today, the big companies, they sell shares so that they have more people owning part of the company. Yes, that's how you see those pulling resources together and saying, you know what, I need you to come and co-found this company with me. Some will even bring in new executives on their board that can support them in getting new clientele. But I'm sharing Chris Fesco's story because that itself is a personal experience I had. and I saw how we could share resources in partnerships. And it was a win-win for both of us. Because when you are sharing resources in network, in a networking relationship or partnership, it should always be a win-win. And when you're sharing resources, it leads to cost savings. And before you know it, you grow very rapidly. Because then Chris can bring her own strength and bring him my own strength. And it just becomes bigger than the two of us. So that is very important. I put also examples of organizations that have had partnerships. Okay, Panasonic, these are big organizations. Panasonic and Tesla has reached an agreement to expand supply of automotive-grade battery cells. So Panasonic started providing high-grade battery cells for Tesla. And that way, as long as Tesla is selling, Panasonic is selling. I hope you're getting the point. That's how partnerships work. That's how partnerships work. Don't forget that. Also, I realized recently there's always this advert Guinness, but then it's not Guinness that they're showing. They're just showing some young people with some t-shirts and they're just taking pictures. I kept wondering I've been wondering what is this advertisement about? And then I paid attention for a while. Then I saw that they put severe nature. So I went on and I googled severe nature. I said, okay, so the severe nature is their journey forces with Guinness, or Guinness is journey forces severe nature to empower Black cultural expressions in the Nigerian community. Right now, partnerships is what is the real deal because you can get so much done with it. So severe nature is a lifestyle brand and their journey forces with Guinness. Advert is so powerful. You would want to find out what exactly is going on here. And now, when I read it, I now saw this Guardian news story. I said, oh, okay, Guinness is a journey for severe nature. These days, people are joining forces. Here, Jumia Food, Domino's Pizza partners for improved customer service delivery. Jumia Food and Domino's. So Domino's Pizza is selling, Jumia Food is helping them to do the distribution within the localities. Even you can partner with a business. I don't know where you work. You could partner with a delivery service. So if there's anybody ordering your product, there's a delivery service that is always on standby. So that helps. You're not racking your head each time to say, how do I deliver this to this person? It gets to a stage where you're managing your business. You realize that you need a partner or you need a collaboration really that can take the stress off you. At that point, you need to find it. Okay? So somebody said, share resources, these are Nigeria. The person will be feeling like you will overtake them when the sky is blue for everyone. It's a fact. But the truth is, if, number one, character is key as well. Character is very key. And you need to build healthy relationships so that even when you're proposing it, your plan is solid. It's solid. I always say this. When you're partnering, your plan should be solid. Everybody should see it in black and white. What this partnership has to offer us. Many times partners enter businesses without articulating these things properly. We will say, what we call that? You say it's in good faith. No, there's nothing like that in law. Okay. I worked for an organization in the past, and I think it was an enterprise agency. We are partnered with a bank. You see, all the money that we loaned people through that bank, by the time I joined this organization, about 50-something million had not returned as at 2007. And then we were trying to tell the bank, see, you have to give us this. And then the lawyer said, okay, what's the agreement you had with this bank in the first place? And then the lawyer looked at me and said, oh my God, this agreement you had, well, you had an agreement. An agreement may not be binding. He said so. Secondly, the kind of words you had used in your agreement, there are certain things you said there. You said in good faith. In good faith. Said, well, that even spoiled the whole thing because it's not binding on. And I'm telling you, it has become a challenge. We have not been able to recover all those monies. They were written away as bad debts. It became bad debts. So when you're going to partnership, I will always advise, there must be a framework. And this is why we miss it as small businesses. There must be a framework for your partnership. There must be things that bind you to each other. What are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table? It must be fair to all concerned. Get a lawyer to read through the agreements. I tell you, those kind of agreements where you see that it's tight enough, it's very difficult for a partner to just say, I'm taking the work because you're already try to do otherwise, there are penalties for me as well. There are penalties in this document. So we need to also know that, please, small businesses, we are used to just having verbal agreements. No way. When you see partnerships that work, it's not a verbal agreement. It should be well done. It should be well articulated. The framework for a partnership should be there. We're talking about business growth. Businesses have grown, and I'm telling you, grown tremendously because of partnerships. You can't even wish that away. Partnerships that be formed in the proper way have gotten better for it. By all means. And I know I'm saying, check, partnerships that be formed properly have done well. Of course, the partnership of McDonald's and Coca-Cola. Anyway, when you go to McDonald's, you see Coca-Cola. They've been like that forever. So my question to you, how do you leverage strategic networking and partnerships? So a question I've asked, and I've asked you earlier, and I want you to look at it again for emphasis' sake. Where do you want to be in your business? Perhaps you have written it, but where do you want to be? Think about it again. Ask yourself the question, how will you get there? My question to you, how will you get there? How do you plan to get there? And then, if it's not so clear just yet, you can ask yourself, who can help me? Who can help me to get there? Who can I begin to talk to get where I need to be? And what relationship should you begin to build to achieve it? The fact is, you shouldn't work alone as a business owner. I know small businesses, we always have that issue of all the legal jargons. My dear, times you really must do that. There are times you... So there's a friend of mine, Obina. We had a partnership, and we still even do have. We do have a partnership. We've done some work together. We had a partnership I told you I have a trainer capacity building company, and we had a partnership, and we spelled it out black and white. It was spelled out, including that we're going to share our profits, including that. And what I know that has paid me off in that partnership is that there are places I wouldn't have been able to enter because Obina is very influential. We've been able to enter those places. So tell me the partnership is not good. It is good. The thing is, we were not easy about it. We put it down in black and white. This is what A+ is bringing to the table. We are bringing our expertise to this thing. We are bringing our planning. We are good with planning, curriculum development. We are good in all of that. Guy, you are bringing in the network. You're opening the door. You're getting us clientele. Nobody is better than the other person in this case because it takes a whole lot of grit and efforts to even develop curriculum. That's a fact. And facilitate. So we got to that point. It was well spelled out. The same thing has happened between me and another organization that we have formed a partnership. And that partnership as well is about A+ designing curriculum, facilitating and all of that, while they open the doors that we need to get to, where we need to get to. And I'm telling you, there's one organization I've been hoping that we'll be able to, and we've been able to do that because of this partnership. So think about it. If you tell yourself, I want to be the leading brand of underwears in a particular place, are there people, are there organizations that we can leverage? Is there a company we can discuss, that I can discuss this with and say, you know what, we're going to leverage your clout to sell underwear. So this is it. Maybe you are doing children underwear and they are into children lifestyle for children. You can come up with a very superior idea that both of you can see where you're going to connect. Like their innovation doesn't just come. It takes deep thought. It takes deep thought. And being able to think outside the box. Okay? Think about it. What relationship should you build to achieve this? And don't ever think that it's not going to work. Don't ever think so. Right? Till tomorrow, partnerships have worked. Some tactics for a brand building. I don't know how many of you are contract manufacturing. But for example, if you want to get some product into the market, and it's possible that you don't have the equipment, you don't have the machinery, okay, you know that you can go into contract manufacturing. You can combine expertise like we talked about. You can bring skills, you bring your connections. These are the things I just spoke about, okay? So areas of innovation to drive business growth. The first one is your business model. Your business model, go back to look at your business model. The way it is right now, can my business grow beyond it is? The way my business model is right now. my financial model, the way income comes to me, the way I generate finances in my business, my products and my service, the partnerships I even currently have, if I have any. Think about it. These are areas of innovation to drive your business growth. And as you're leaving this session, write these things down. Going to go and think about them, because therein lies the key to your business growth. And if you need a coach, you can always get one to help you through it. I hope you know. But sit yourself down, and if possible, run it through someone that knows your business very well and ask them, what do you see about my business model? This is where I'm seeing this business, but this is how I run. Let the person know, how do you run your business correctly? And let's look at what we can bring, what innovation that will help you to drive that growth. Is very important. My special note to you this evening: explore new networking opportunities and seek out strategic partnerships to fuel your business growth. Secondly, be adaptable and agile in today's rapidly changing business landscape. The third, change your mindset about partnerships. I'm seeing someone making some comments there. I was just smiling, I'm coming here. Change your mindset about partnerships, because two is better than one. It's a fact. But you know that too, find someone that shares your values, because that's where some of us have also missed it. We've missed it. Look for someone that shares your values. You share the same, your vision is quite aligning with each other. Your purposes are aligning. It helps. Two is always better than one. Two good heads, they say, is better than one. Then with your business, you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. All you need is a goal and an action plan. And when you have your action plan, you can get to work. So I've asked you some questions, and I will send these slides to PMO, the coordinator, so that this can also help you. There's so many questions in my slides. I keep putting questions because I really want you to take action. What business are you into? Define yourself. What business am I actually into? Because some of us don't even understand the business we're into. That's a fact. Is it a business or a hobby? What's my big vision for my business? Where am I now? Where do I want to be in the next 2 to 3 years? Is my current business model profitable? What needs to change? And what relationships or partnerships will help me achieve my goals? This is an assignment I'm leaving you with, and it's very important that you do so. Now, this is my penultimate slide, second to the last. I saw these 2 books. I've bought one though. One says, hope is not a strategy. Faith is not a business model. Disruptive thoughts for disruptive times. What we're saying is, when you're just hoping, hope without anything, hope must come with strategy. Hello? Your business model, even though you have a faith that you're going to succeed, you must have a model that works. It is in believing that that model you have put there, faith helps you. It now begins to steer you in the right directions. But my dear, have a strategy, have a business model, and then you can continue to exercise your faith on those things. Let God guide you. Hope is not a strategy. Your faith, tell me, Ajibe, I read this book, your faith has made you broke. Oh my God. When I saw this book, I said I have to buy it. And I've bought mine, and I've read a part of it. And really, she saw that many believers are not doing well, especially faith, people that have faith, and they're still the brokest people. And that book is a believer's guide to crushing limiting beliefs about wealth creation and living in abundance as God would have it. We don't just want to be people that we say we have faith, but that the works are not there. Oh, Apostle Paul says, show me your faith, and I'll show you my works. Because faith without works is dead. Faith without works, that must be the doing part of your faith. There must be the doing part of hope. You must be doing and be hoping. That is how it should be. Finally, I will close with this scripture. Luke 14:28, Jesus said, for which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? What this means to me is, for which of you wants to grow your business, wants it to be where you have seen it already, that vision that you created when I started this session? How many of you have seen it? This is where I want to be. How many of you, desirous of that image you have seen, will not first sit down, count that cost? How many of you not first sit down, plan, set your goals, do your strategies, do your action plan, look at it, what do I need? Who do I need to start speaking to? What resources do I need? It's important. Said, how many of you, which of you designed to be the tower, does not first sit down and count the cost whether he has enough to complete it? And even Jesus went ahead to talk about the person that started building a house and did not complete it. And then people were passing and were pointing to the house. Oh, this is the house of the man that started the work and did not finish. That would not be our portion in Jesus' name. I'm wrapping up on this because this is my call to action. Go back to everything I've shared with you. Go back to those questions. This question is even my call to action, really. Go back to those questions. Think about it. Get your strategy. Set your goals. Set your strategy. Set your tactics. Set your work planning. Give yourself another 3 years, 2 years, and work, and your goals must be smart. Don't forget. And give yourself targets. It's very important. So innovation is key in your business growth. Very key. Don't forget that. But of course, you must be innovative in building your strategic partnerships and networking. The places you go, the people you see, the way you form your partnerships, the way you build the relationships, you must be strategic and you must be innovative. So this is all I have for you this evening. I need to wrap it up here. Thank you very much, and I hope this has been useful.
Awesome.
Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Tioja. That was super packed. Thank you. Very insightful, very informative, right? The things that I didn't know in the Nigerian sphere was happening in terms of the partnership. And honestly, if I go away today, somebody's saying something, I'll be able to say, I heard that in this meeting, right? I know about, what's that name of that company that does the delivery? Right. And you've mentioned quite a few.
Novo, yes.
Yeah, Novo, yes. And it's awesome. I mean, a lot of things you've shared. I'm not into business, but I'm looking to also start. Again, I'm going to go through the slides and the books you shared as well. I'm definitely reading them. I'm purchasing them. So as many of you on this call, we're going to share obviously the slides.
You must.
Yeah, we are going to get the book and I'm going to read it, before the end of this week. So that's my own goal. I'm going to get the 2 books and I'm going to read them and I'm going to take action. So I'm sure we've all written down notes tonight. Honestly, it's so much to take on. And if you grab your notes, you can always go back and actually answer those questions. And honestly, this is the kind of meetings I like. You're not just taking in, you're also reflecting on what's being said, and then you're going away to actually do something. Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Titiojo. Really, really, really grateful for what you shared with us today. Thank you very much. All right, because of our time, I know the people who have questions. We've got one last speaker because we started late. And I'm just going to obviously introduce her, and then we so that, I'm very conscious it's already late, but please, I'm sure you're blessed already. So much stuff, so much knowledge here tonight. So please hang on, hold on. If you need to get some water, please. If you need to go to the toilet, you can quickly do that now so that you don't miss this very last speaker. All right, our last speaker is Rayo Ahimokai. I hope I pronounced the surname properly. My apologies. It's the face behind the popular brand Lagos Housewife. Rayo's passion for cooking and healthy living led her to start Lagos Housewife. Over the course of the years, this community of women and men has flourished into a formidable online presence on various platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Telegram, and email subscription. Comprised of individuals from diverse backgrounds, they share a common goal of embracing a better lifestyle. Lagos Housewife has now expanded to become a trusted resource for women to want to live wholesome, complete lives in their faith, family, health, and finances. Through Lagos Housewives, Rayo shares her knowledge, tips, and recommendations with her community, inspiring many to make better choices and decisions regarding their lives by putting Jesus first and having a personal relationship with the Holy Spirit. With our expertise in cooking and a commitment to promoting a wholesome life, Raya Haimokai has become a respected public figure, and our influence is felt far beyond the borders of our home country. So please join me in welcoming Mrs. Rayo Ayamokai. Welcome to our platform today.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful. Thank you for the opportunity. Pimo, God bless you. I've followed your work recently since I got the invite. Thank you so much for everything you do. So I won't take too much of your time. Father, we thank you for this opportunity. As we go into this teaching, I ask that, Lord, you will open the heart and understanding of your people to hear that this message they need to have for this season in their lives as they're about to start off in their business. Lord, you will help them with it in Jesus' name. Thank you, Abba, for this we have asked and received in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. So I've been told that my own teaching should gear towards turning passions into profits. starting a home-based business, and support systems, leveraging community and resources. And I'm very glad for this topic because it's basically my life story. So what I will be doing, so as not to take too much of your time, is I will tell my story of how I started my home-based business and the resources I used along each part of what I was doing and how that helped me, how I leveraged such resources and how that helped me. And while I'm doing that, I want you to be jotting down the things you are picking from it, from my life lesson. I won't really be doing any teaching. I'll just let you be the one to take your teachings from my life. Okay, so let me get started. I graduated from University of Ilorin with a Bachelor of Arts degree in English. And after I was posted to Abuja to serve, and I served with the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, formerly Nikon Hilton Hotel then. Uh, I I served with them a year, and while I was serving, I actually won Employee of the Year. So you can imagine, immediately they employed me. I just went on into employment, and I ended up working with them for 4 years before I left voluntarily. In fact, when I was leaving, my manager refused to sign me off till I lied and told her I got a better offer. I didn't get a better offer. I had an instruction from God. It's time to leave. Your time here is over. And I left without knowing where I was going. And that was my last time in paid employment. I never went into paid employment again. So while I was in Hilton, I worked in the customer service, customer relations department. And if there's one thing you know about Hilton is their drive for excellence. So we're always having trainings. And that was one thing I learned was customer relations. While I was also in Abuja, I joined the public relations this thing of Nigeria, and I was a very active member. And that was where I also learned public relations, marketing, speaking to people, including my training with Hilton. And it came in extremely handy in my business journey. Extremely handy. I drew on the things I learned there. So number one thing, what I want you to take is wherever you are, wherever you're working, understand that the knowledge you are taking, the training you are doing there is not just for the work, for the business, for the company you're working for the industry you're working for. It's also going to come in handy in your own business. I'm a firm believer in no knowledge is wasted. Because if God takes you through something, it's because there is something you will learn from it for the future. So what I learned in Hilton and while in public relations, it's really helped us a lot. Anyway, I left Hilton and I returned to Ilorin where I grew up, to my parents' home. I didn't have any further instructions from God for some time. So I didn't just sit down doing nothing. Remember, I said I graduated from English with a degree in English, and I'm a very good writer, extremely good. That. In fact, before God changed the trajectory of my life, I always intended I would be an author. I would be an international author, published and everything. So when I was in Ilorin, what I started doing, I started writing stories. I used to write fiction. I put myself in a structure. I will wake up in the morning, of course, living with my parents. You can't expect me to just get up and not do anything. So when I wake up, I'll do chores, I'll do things, I'll do everything I'm supposed to do, finish it off, and then I'll sit down for the next 4 hours. And the only thing I'm doing is I'm typing out stories, writing. And that was how I did for like a whole year. And in that time, because I was given 4 hours every day strictly to writing, I was able to write a lot of stories. And well, after a while, it started bothering me. Okay, I'm not earning money. I'm not doing anything. What can I do? I sat down and I thought, and I said, okay, there's the Herald newspaper in Ilorin. So I got up, I went to them. I went with a few of my stories, and I had quite a number of stories. There were short stories and there were long ones that were in series. in parts and all that. And so I went a few of them, showed it to the editor, and I was like, if I can have a column in their newspaper and I can be writing for them, sharing some of my stories. And it was like, okay, but they have no budget to pay me. I said, no problem. Let me just start. So I started, and they were publishing my stories. They gave me a half page in Herald newspapers, the Sunday Herald, and it started going out. And before you know it, I built up quite a large fan base. And then I was like, oh, I will not be able to do this anymore. Of course, I will be able to do this, but I knew by then I had built up my value with them. I was valuable to them. Their readership had increased, had bloomed because of all that. I was getting fan mails. I was getting, people were writing into Herald, especially when I started the series, like, they want to read the next part. They want to read the next part. Who's this writer? Who's this? So they started paying me. And I did that like for another year before I now left, got married, moved to Lagos to be with my husband. And yes, when we started, both of us started from the bare bottom. You see these things I'm doing, you see what I'm, so there might be some of you that want to start a writing, something to do with writing and all that. Anyway, so when my husband and I got married, we're like, okay, what can we do? He went online and taught himself how to build and design websites. He taught himself from watching YouTube videos, from reading, from practicing and all that. And then he was not like, okay, he believes he can build this thing. I was like, okay. By then, I used to post on Facebook, on LinkedIn regularly. I was just keeping up to date with what was happening, even though I was a stay-at-home wife. I wasn't doing much at that time. But I was like, okay, my husband is starting this business. How can I be an asset to him with what I've known? Okay, I drew on my marketing skills. I was like, okay, first thing you're going to do, you have to show what you can do. You can't just go online and say, I can build you a website. Show me something you've done. So we went on WordPress. You know, WordPress is the free blog site and everything. I was like, build an elaborate website on WordPress that we can now send the link to people to show them this is what you can do. So he did that. He built that. All we had was a laptop, internet connection. As at that time, it was what was the network we were using? We're using Starcoms. Thank you. We're using Starcoms network. That was the time. So he designed a website, you know, with pages with different things and all that. And then I went on LinkedIn with all the things I'd learned about public relations and marketing. I started posting and all that. And the first job we got was actually from someone outside the country, a Nigerian living outside the country, but with a hotel in Nigeria, a big hotel in Abuja. And he said, can we build a website for his hotel? We're like, yes, we can. He said he saw what we did and he's very impressed with it. It's different from the norm. As at that time, you know, websites were not as striking as they are now, as what do they call it, functional and everything. So we came out with a new dimension, something beautiful but functional and easy. You know, my husband, he had the vision of a professional. I had the vision of a customer. So we're able to marry that together. And I was like, okay, as a customer, what do I want to see? This. So he would design some things and tell me to see how do I'll be like, as a customer, this one is for a professional. A professional will know how to handle this. But me, that I know nothing about how to do this. I want something functional that I can handle, that I can click and go to and everything. So because of that, we were able to bring both our talents together. Me, I'm not concerned about the professional aspect. I'm concerned as a customer, will I be able to use this website and will it appeal to me? So I could tell him what appealed to me, how simple it is, and he used his professional knowledge to design something that was easy for me to use. That was our selling point. And The man saw it and he loved it, and he paid us. We've never met him till now. He paid us. And that was how we started. We now had the first one. We could show people this is something we have built and all that. And then his daughter, who was into beauty, skincare, perfumes, and everything, now came and was like, oh, she saw the work we did for her dad and all that. Also not in Nigeria. She saw the work we did for her dad, and it's so good and everything. That do we also do graphics design? My husband didn't, but I didn't allow him to say no. Immediately I said, yes, we do. She learned graphics design and she was like, okay, can we design the logo and the stickers for her skincare and perfume, this thing? And that was the second job we did. After that, things big. I would post every time. I was posting on Facebook, I was posting on LinkedIn. As it was building the job, I would be posting updates, as in updates of things that are happening and everything. And I started gathering a following on our business page. I didn't use my personal page for it. I used the name was Blue One, BHLUE-ONE, Blue One. That was the name we used. And it was gathering quite a following. And with that, we started having jobs. That started developing. So that was the first business we did together. And here's the thing, because I was so good in customer relations that I had learned from Hilton, I was able to interact with our customers, and they ended up becoming like family. I can tell you till today that we're still in touch with them. And even though we're not doing the website design business again, those customers were the ones that proved pivotal in Lagos Housewife. They were the ones that brought brands to me to start advertising with me and started my influencer journey. So I'm going to tell you one thing that matters a lot: your integrity, your character. Everybody that has known us from the beginning, they are still pivotal to our business today. Totally different business from what we were doing then. But because of the integrity, they were like, no matter what they do it well. That's one thing you need to consider when starting any business. Integrity. Today, I was at the Stanbic IBTC Bloom weekend, and in the masterclass, also the speaker said something. She said, there are conversations you will never be a part of. There are rooms you will never enter. There are meetings you will never be invited to. He said, but your name can be mentioned there, and your integrity is what will determine whether you get that opportunity. And that thing struck me, and I told my husband, I said, because Stanbic IBTC invited me to this thing. They invited me, they paid me to be there, and they also paid me to advertise it. I was not telling my husband. I said, here's the thing. I was not in the meeting. I don't know when my name was mentioned, who mentioned it, but my reputation had gone ahead of me. That's why when my name was mentioned, they all agreed that yes, Lagos Housewife should be there. Integrity, reputation matters a lot. There are places you will never enter. There are meetings you will never be a part of, but your name can be mentioned there for opportunities. And when I saw that, I posted it in my story. I said, you see, this is how a lot of people lose blessings they are not even aware of. I said, if your name is mentioned in a place, what will your reputation and character and integrity speak about you? I said, there are some people, God will cause your name to be mentioned, but your reputation will cause the name to be silenced again. And that's how you lose opportunities without even knowing. So when you're starting a business, please know that the most important market you will ever have is your reputation. Nothing beats that. I mean, I see it in even the little things. I went on Gigi one time, just to give you an example of what character, integrity matters. I went on Gigi one time and I ordered something, I requested for pay on delivery. Even on Gigi, they will advise you, don't make payments till you've seen your goods and everything. And it was pay on delivery I did and everything. And then I messaged the person, oh, do you have this? He said, oh, yes, it's available and everything. I said, okay, can I have it? And normally what they do is when the rider brings it, you inspect the good. If it's what you want, the rider will wait. You will then make payments to the person who sold you the thing. When he has received it, he will call his rider and say he has received the payment and you can go. And the person, but I'm not talking of something that was just cheap. I'm talking of something that was in like hundreds of thousands. And the rider just brought it and dropped it and just turned and left. And I was like, seriously, this is not the first time I'm buying from GG. This is not how they operate. And I immediately called the person and I was like, your rider didn't wait for me to make payment to you and everything. And he said, it's Lagos housewife now. You can't take my money. You're a Lagos housewife. I know you, I follow you. Your character speaks for you. And I came inside and I was like, seriously, I don't know him. I've not seen him. But it's just based on my character, based on my integrity. And he left something worth of thousands. Well, of course, I paid him his money. Why won't I pay it? It speaks about you. It speaks about you. So keep that in mind. Then after the whole website business and graphics design stabilized and we're having customers and all that. And even there were companies that we built for that were now paying us on a monthly basis for us to be maintaining the website, keep it running. If they have updates to make to it, they'll send it to us and things like that. So we're like getting money on a regular basis. We had already built up a client base that was bringing in regular income. So I didn't need to do so much again. It was my husband that still had to keep working and all that. So I kind of got restless. I was like, oh, I have a lot of time on my hands and I need to learn. Sorry, my automatic bedtime kicked in. Okay, so I was like, I have time on my hands. What can I do? What can I do? So while I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? I went to church one Sunday, and then we're Redeem members. Redeem announced uh, a vocational training that they were doing in partnership with Lagos State School of Vocational Studies. And they were like, okay, fill this form. There was sewing, there was knitting, there was website design, there was baking, there was catering. And on the spur of the moment, I decided to apply for. I said, me that I've been looking for something to do. This is something I can do. So I took the form and I chose baking. And before then, I didn't know how to bake. I didn't know anything, but I knew how to cook. I was interested in cooking. So I was like, okay, baking should be an addition to it. So I filled the form for baking and all that. And it was a free training. That's one thing you should know. Take advantage of free trainings. There are some churches that offer that. There are some people that also offer it online. There are organizations, charity organizations that offer things like that. Take advantage of that. And I have a problem with people who treat free training lightly because they got it free. They don't value it. I've seen that happen again and again. And it got to a point where I was even saying, I will not train people for free and all that. But then I thought of the fact that what started me on this journey was something I learned for free. No matter how unserious some people might be, there will be that one person who can take it serious. So for the sake of that person, I can do that. But a lot of people, they belittle free trainings and they do not realize what a huge opportunity they are missing. I started my baking journey with that free training. And, I gave it my all. I learned and everything. It was 6 weeks. And they taught us the basics, how to measure, how to bake. Then they taught us general cake, how to bake pound cake, how to bake Nigerian cake, how to bake this kind of cake, just the basics and all that. And we graduated. And after that, I was like, I am going to follow up on this baking. I went online and I started learning different kinds of cakes. That's one thing that baffles me. I see a lot of bakers and you talk about certain cakes and they don't know it. They only stick with what they are taught. They've never, ever improved on what they were taught. They've not gone online to check, to see things they can. With all the resources abundant online, on the internet, they've not improved themselves. I know I was talking about tres leches the other day on my page. I said tres leches cake, and there were bakers who had never heard of it. And I was like, come on, this is one of the most common cakes online. Yes, it's not common in Nigeria, but online, if you're someone who goes online regularly, you will see it. As in, I went online, I taught myself chiffon cakes, angel cakes, tres leches, uh, as in so many. I taught myself so many. Then another thing I want people to understand, we focus so much on our weaknesses, trying to improve on our weaknesses. It's good, it's okay. But why do you not focus on your strength till you grow it to a point of excellence? Grow your strength to a point of excellence instead of putting so much attention on what you cannot do well. Let me tell you something I was never good at when it comes to baking. Decoration. I don't know how to decorate. I suck in decoration. Fondant or whipped cream, it was always crooked, it looked messy, it never looked okay. So I sat down, I was getting frustrated the more I was trying to teach myself. I was like, oh God. Then I now sat down and said, okay, I don't know how to decorate. So what is going to happen about it? If you give people decorated cake, nobody will buy it from you because you are not good in it. So I decided to focus on my strength. Undecorated cakes, amazing taste. I know how to create recipes. I know how to bring out cakes that will make people not want to stop eating cake. So I decided to focus on that. And I started creating amazing naked cakes. I started creating certain kind of toppings that will be on top cake that people have not seen before. I decided, okay, I'm not going to be able to make birthday cakes. I'm not going to be able to make wedding cakes. I am going to focus on daily cakes or people who don't want the normal kind of birthday cakes. So I focused on that. I grew my strength. My cakes were amazing. Amazing. So the question was now like, okay, how do you get people to taste these amazing cakes? And that was when I took advantage of friends. Now I had a lot of friends who worked in companies, who had husbands who were like bank managers, some worked in international organizations and all that. So I was like, I'll just call them. I'll be like, I need a favor from you. I'm going to bake a cake for you. I want to bring it to your office. And I'm going to share it in your office. One thing I want you to do, please do not tell people it's free. Because here's the thing. If they tell people it's free, people want to get it free from me. So I said, don't tell people it's free. When they come, I knew I just had to get people to taste the cake. Once they tasted it, they were hooked. So they were, my friends help. They will turn away free cake. You are bringing it to my office? Yes. And I'll take free cake. Some of the offices I went to was Diamond Bank, Access Bank. There were some international organizations I went to. There were advert companies I went to that I had friends in, and I'll take the cake to them, and I'll kind of like, and it will be unique. They'll be like, oh, they've never seen cake with this kind of topping. Some will eat it and be, wow, it's so amazing. And before you know it, their office people were like asking, okay, how much for this cake? Whenever I'm going, I will go with my card and I'll go with my phone number, with the I will open my Facebook. That was when I started on Instagram. That I'll open my Facebook and Instagram and show them cakes are done and all that. And before you know it, orders started coming in. And you will see people say, this is so different from the normal buttercream cake. This is what I want for my birthday. So one person will call me, hey, I'm calling from so company. You brought a cake one time. Can I have something like that? My birthday is coming up next week. And I started having orders. Here's where I'm going to tell you again. Whatever your hands find to do with all your hearts. Give it your all. Be the best in what you do. I always tell people in business, what stands you out? God knows how many thousand people are selling ogbono. What makes me go to the person the particular person that is my customer. What? Let me tell you, it can either be one of two things. Number one, her amazing customer relations. You know, those kind of people that even if we know we can get it cheaper, but the way they treat us, the way they are so exuberant, the way they are so wonderful, charming, loving, that we will still buy, we will complain, but still buy for them. We'll be like, your own is always expensive. This woman's expensive for customer. This one, when they finish yourself, but I went for a fair one time. You know, I was sitting discussing with some people and we're waiting for one of our friends to come up. And then when she came up to us, she was already carrying baskets, nylons of things. And we're like, you've already gone. She said that she was entering. One lady said, I said, by the time the lady finished talking to her, she didn't know when she was buying things she didn't need. And I was like, who's the person? When she mentioned the vendor's name, I said, you will buy. I said, me, myself, I've fallen victim. All of us are falling. The moment if she catches you like this, by the time she finishes talking and telling you everything, and you will buy things you don't need. You will buy. There are people like that. That's number one. Number two, it will be because of the quality of your products, how good they are. And I went with both my customer relation skills from Hilton and the quality, the amazingness of my cakes. And that was what got me. And till today, I still have some of people who ordered cake from me and they'll be like, this one that you've become big woman, you are not baking cake for us. I'll be like, I'm not doing that again. And that's one thing I want you to understand with business. The fact that you are doing a particular business right now does not mean that is what you will do all the days of your life. Because a lot of people will be like, what business can I do? What business can I do that will not? I'll be like, the Bible says, whatsoever your hand finds to do. I said, the moment you hear that word finds, you know what is your responsibility. You are the one to find something to do. You are the one to find something to do. I said, the one thing that separates us from animals is our mind. We have the same creative ability as God. The major thing that separates us, our mind. A lot of people don't like to think. They want people to tell them what to do. That's why many people fall into problems. You now see they started a business simply because someone was doing it and the person was succeeding in it, or they start a business because someone's advised them to do it. I have many people coming to me, they don't know what business to do. Come on, think. You have a brain. You have a brain. Think. Our brains are so powerful. But I don't know why thinking is so difficult for a lot of people. We instead just want to, that's why we say we are waiting for God to tell you. And God is kind of waiting for you like this, saying, whatsoever your hand finds to do. The finding is your own responsibility in this thing. So anyway, that's how the cake business, that one boomed, was bringing in income and everything. Now, there's a part I skipped. You know, when my husband and I got married and then we just started small. So we didn't have anything. When I tell you we started from zero, we started from zero. A lot of you that have seen my wedding pictures will know that, yes, we really started from zero. But one thing we had was contentment. And another thing was we were always using our brains, thinking, what can we do? And then we're always learning, always learning. So when we started like having money, small, I needed to buy a blender. This was long before we started cake business. I needed to buy a blender. I could not afford it. So I started saving money small towards it. I'm telling you, it took me 3 months to save like 18,000. The first blender I ever bought in my life was 18,000 as at then. It took me like 3 months to save up to that. But because of how long it took me to save it, I valued that money. I didn't want it to waste. So I needed to ensure I got a good blender. So I would go online and be researching. Don't forget, this was the days of Starcoms. We didn't have fast internet, or what we had, I used. And I will sit down and I will read about blender, the difference between square and round jug, what difference it makes, the difference between strong but blunt blade or sharp but thin blades. And I will look, if I can tell you, and there's nothing I can't teach you about blender. Believe me. I would read and learn and do everything. Remember when I told you no knowledge is wasted? Because of all this learning and everything, I knew a lot about blenders and I got interested in kitchen appliances, kitchen gadgets. So that was how I bought my first blender. Then when next I wanted to buy another kitchen gadget again, I will research and research. And so that became the normal thing I used to do, the trajectory I was following. Even when I had money, I would read up about it to be sure I was getting the best, read reviews, understand the differences in how they operate, what I should look for, how to know a good gadget from a bad one, differences in brands, differences in designs, what it means, things like that. So that one was going along, even as the website design was going, even as the cake was, this thing was going. And even when I started the cake business, I started with what I had. My husband had a gas oven before I got married. So that was what I was using. And there was, because it was so old, there was a time I was baking and the glass shattered. And we didn't have money to buy another gas oven. So what we did was to buy like this aluminium that they used to do roof. And then we got someone to bend it into a cover. So I will hang it over the front of the gas oven to cover it, to prevent the heat from going out. And that was what I was using. And that's another thing I'm going to tell you. A lot of people are always stopping themselves from starting a business because of what they think they don't have. The first cake I baked it in an aluminum plate. I did not have a baking pan. I baked it in an aluminum plate, the one we use for eating. That's what I used to bake it. Start with what you have. I always tell you, God never leaves anyone empty. If he doesn't add more to what you have right now, it's because what you have is enough for you to start. It is you that keeps looking at what you don't have rather than what you have. Start with what you have. Do you know, when I first started learning fondant, before I finally gave it up, we didn't have a table I could be rolling the fondant on. So we'll buy this plastic carpet. You know, this plastic carpet. We'll buy like a yard of it. I'll place it on the floor, and it's on it I'll be rolling out the fondant. When I was telling my story one time, how we started, someone was asking me that, how did you cope with all those thoughts of, say, you are poor and everything? Didn't it get you down? I said, let me tell you the funny thing. We didn't even know we were poor. We never thought of ourselves as we were poor. We were content. We were happy. It never occurred to me that we're poor. I don't know how to explain it. As far as I was concerned, I was just moving on and using what I had. That's what we're just doing. Anyway, after that time, the baking had picked up and all that. And then by then I had my son, he started school. And before then, I had a scare. When I started weaning him, I gave him a crayfish and he had an allergic reaction to it. Thankfully, we lived very close to a health center, so I was able to rush him. They were able to get. So because of that, I was very particular about what he eats. So I used to take my time with his food to make sure nothing touched it, nothing shellfish and everything. So that was how, in between, when I had cake orders and I didn't have, I'll post up my son's school lunch on Instagram and on Facebook and all that. And people were captivated and they were like, because before then there was not, I have 7 minutes left. Before then, school lunch was not a thing. It actually started with when I started school lunch. So people were captivated. So someone approached me and was like, can I give her a food timetable that she can be making for her son and all that? And I was like, okay. So I wrote out a 1-month food timetable for her. And my husband saw it and was like, why not write out the recipes too? I said, recipes for all these meals, 1 full month, snack, lunch and drink 1 full month, Monday to Friday. He said, yes, do it. So I started doing it on my laptop and all that. And I was almost done when my son one day sat on the laptop, he peed on it, and everything, the laptop died. I could get nothing out of it. I was so heartbroken. I didn't know what to do because my husband was using his own laptop for his website design business, don't forget. And I was like, okay. So I took my phone. It was this very small Nokia phone that still had buttons, not the touch screen. Do you know I typed out the school lunch menu? 20 lunch recipes, 20 snack recipes, 20 drinks recipes for 1 month. I typed it out on that small Nokia phone. And then I was like, I was going to sell it 2,000, but I was like, won't people insult me? Won't people say, oh, why this nonsense? So that Sunday night before school resumed, school was resuming on Monday. I posted about it on my page. I said it's 2,000 naira. And I said, I put my account number. I posted it on Instagram, posted it on Facebook, then quickly logged out of my account and went to sleep because I was like, people are going to abuse me. Oh God, what is this one doing? Who's going to buy this nonsense? May I be spending money for this kind of thing? I was so scared. That's another thing. Do it scared. A lot of people say, what if? Do it. The fact that you are scared does not mean it will not work. And the fact that you are scared does not, just do it. Don't let fear stop you. It's okay to be afraid. It's not okay to let that fear stop you from moving. So I posted it and everything, only for me to wake up in the morning on Monday and I realized I had over 600,000 in my account. People had paid 2,000 and it was over 600,000. I was stunned. I could not believe it. And that was what started Lagos Housewife. And that is how I got here. Now, to round up, remember that knowledge of kitchen gadgets I was talking about. So normally when I'm just scrolling through social media, I'll see some people, they will just ask that, I don't even know which blender to buy between this one and this one. And I will comment and say, buy this one because this have it. Based on my knowledge, I would advise them and people will follow the advice. And before you know it, people started messaging me. Oh, I want to buy pots. Which kind of pot should I buy? I want to buy gas cooker. Which kind of gas cooker? And I was giving them advice freely from this thing. And that reputation was rising. And the next thing I knew, I was getting messages from brands, sending kitchen appliances to me to test it out. And they were paying me, giving me the gadget, telling me to test it out. And if I see it's good, can I advertise for them? And I would charge them for the adverts again. And I was like, truly no knowledge is wasted. And that was what started Lagos Housewife. You see, what I started from poverty because I could not afford blender. So I had to know enough about blender to be able to buy a good one. That is what is bringing in millions to me right now. You cannot imagine the amount of money people are paying me to review kitchen gadgets for them, for companies, for brands, for businesses. And that's how you turn passion into profit. Number one thing I would tell you is your integrity. There is no duplicate for that. Number two, become the best at what you do. Focus on your strength. Stop letting your weaknesses distract you. Number three, knowledge. Acquire knowledge. Get more knowledge. Number four, take advantage of every opportunity. Don't think anything is too small or too cheap for what you want to do. Take advantage of every opportunity to train yourself to learn. Number five, please, your friends, your colleagues, where you used to work before, then draw on them. I have a friend that when she started her cooking business, the first place she used to take packaged food to was the former place she used to work. And she would sell the food to them. That was the first place she started her business from. And then word of mouth is what will now take you out. and all that. And then number two, learn to give glory to God. You know, here's the thing: when you put God first, He also puts you forward. That's one thing I have learned. When that donkey allowed Jesus to ride on his back, the donkey was the one walking on the clothes that was spread for Jesus. When you put Jesus first in everything, you will see what He will do for you. So that is my story.
Wow.
And I hope you have learned from this. Thank you so much again. God bless you. And He will give you all you need to start from where you are in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
And oh, that was powerful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Raya. Like we, in fact, I don't even know what to say. I'm short of words. I am absolutely short of words. Thank you so, so much. And all our speakers have spoken, because as you're talking, what was jumping at me was process, little beginnings. And I like the fact that you started the journey, the story for us for where you started and where you are right now. I think for a lot of people, they always want to I want to be there, but they don't want to go through a process. Even in the little things and you said something very, very insightful, is the power of the mind, the ability to think. You can sit down even with limited resources, you still was thinking. As in, I think it's like the brain did not stop thinking. That's so powerful. And I think when God says that, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's not about the state of where we are, it's the state of our mind. Poverty is a state of the mind. Like you said, you were poor, but then in your mind, you were not poor because you knew so much things you could do per time and season, right? As the seasons were getting married, having children, the ability to be able to adapt. And I think that adaptability is also very key in our growth. You need to see, where am I at the moment? Where do I want to get to? What can I do for the meantime? To where on the journey to where I'm going to be. And I thank God for your life, and I thank God for all the speakers. In fact, I can't even begin to tell you, as you're talking, my brain just started thinking, wait, hang on a minute, what am I doing now? What have I got? You know, some of us are in development when I think that, oh, there's nothing I can do. Everybody's doing this. But you said something so key. Write down and leverage on relationship, your integrity. I think the problem with even us as Christians is the fact that we don't have integrity. Our yes is not our yes, our no is not our no. Some people, you can't trust them to do something from start to finish. They would start, they will stop. But what we're saying is we're challenging ourselves. We have an excellent spirit within us. And you said something so powerful, that we got to be that example. Let people know you for who you are. And that's what's going to go before you. Reputation will go before you. People will speak about you when you are not in that room. Oh, thank you. I don't even know. Pimo, where are you? I'd like you to just close. I mean, so much time, but this time is so valuable. And thank you so much, Mrs. Titi. Dr. Dolapo, I know she's gone off, but I don't even know. I'm so short of words. Thank you so much. I hope you've all been blessed. I've been seeing notes. People have joined online on YouTube and all of that. Please let us go back and revisit all that has been said today. It's the highlight for me, every speaker tonight. And this is a life-changing experience and a meeting for me. And I don't know about you, but thank you so much. And God bless you. God bless you. Everybody who has attended, share the link. We're going to share slides, share with people, share with friends. Let that information, you said, don't keep things to yourself. And what happens is that we are always hoarding. Oh, I'm not going to tell this person so that this person doesn't outshine me. Guys, the sky is big enough for everybody. And we will get to where we want to be, you know, by God's grace. So please have a lovely evening. Have a blessed evening. I don't know, Pimo is still on. If not, we would call it a day. I know it's already late. So thank you for joining, wherever you've joined us tonight. We love you and God bless you. Thank you. Good night.